What's up, a-holes? I have returned, and let me give you a brief explanation of what I've been doing here. My computer crashed a few weeks ago, and it was during the premiere of Guardians of the Galaxy. So I haven't really been able to do much, and I just got it back. A good friend of mine fixed it all up. Problem is, he pretty much scooped out all the programs and files on it, so it's basically almost like a new computer, frankly. And I haven't had a chance to do this Guardians of the Galaxy review because everybody's been talking about it. I assume it's been a popular movie. So I decided to just throw in my 2 cents worth on the film. Essentially, this is going to be a spoiler-driven review. I assume all you geeky guys out there and girls have seen the film. So I'm just going to discuss the film kind of freestyle because I'm like 90s extreme. And we'll just go from there. I'll essentially just be talking off the top of my head about what I liked about the movie, what I didn't like about the movie, and that's that. This will only be like a few minutes. Hey, we have this camera set on the new setting, right? So it's not too... the file isn't too big, right?
I have not changed the setting.
Okay.
So it should be on the new one.
That's excellent. Okay. So, yeah, see, this is how, like, off the cut, it is. Like, they're just chatting. I'm just getting back to swing of doing movie reviews. Anyway, Marvel has released its 10th film with Guardians of the Galaxy, which I always was frankly pretty surprised by it. I hadn't expected Guardians to be at all in the tier of these Marvel movies. So to be honest, I really didn't have too many expectations. I wasn't too familiar with James Gunn's work. I did like the cast they were putting together. I thought it was becoming a very, very interesting sounding movie with this cast. And they were using Rocket and Groot, and they weren't afraid to do that. So this film became very fascinating to me. And then the trailers, of course. The trailers, I think, made it for a lot of people. I think worried some others, and we now know that those people are wrong, and maybe they should, like, chill out. Frankly, like, oh man, it's just going to be a musical comedy, and like, it's a trailer. It's just this long. It's just this. You don't have to like assume the whole fucking movie is like that. So we got. Let's see. Let me just read off here. We got Chris Pratt playing Peter Quill, Star-Lord. We got Zoe Saldana. Let's see. Vin Diesel playing Groot. Bradley Cooper playing Rocket. Lee Pace playing Ronan. Karen Gillan as Nebula. Man, we got like so many people in this movie. We got Batista as Drax the Destroyer, and this was like becoming more and more interesting cast. Like, God, we got like Glenn Close and Benicio del Toro, and Bradley Cooper playing Rocket. We have Josh Brolin as Thanos. I'll get to that in a minute. I mean, good lord. This film, I think, plays down, right down the middle of the tones that this should have had. This exactly hit the right tone for the kind of film it needed to be. It's a fun movie. It's hilarious. I laughed quite a bit through it. It was definitely thrilling. It did hit me in the right emotional places, and it was very smart. It knew when not to be too goofy and knew when not to be too serious. Because what I think the Marvel movies have been doing very well up until this point is knowing how to ride that line. Now, of course, some of them have been a little more serious, like the recent Captain America film was a bit more serious, and this one was a bit more fun and a little more fantasy-driven. And, geez, it all works. And you know what? That's the thing that comic books do very well. I've said this a few times, that Marvel Studios has been doing something interesting. They've been bringing what I like and love about comics, and what I hate about comics, too, into movies for non-comic people to become a part of and become fans and kind of share that experience with us comic fans. Like, hey, let's see, Phil Coulson got killed, but he got brought back to life? What the hell's that about? Well, hey, movie fans, that's what we've been dealing with all this time. And Peter Quill, as played by Chris Pratt, boy, man, what a great performance. I think almost like in some ways like a John Carpenter type of character, is that kind of free-willing adventurer kind of guy who has a lot of bravado, but still, has a bit of a sense of humor to him. A little bit like maybe Kurt Russell's character in Big Trouble in Little China, except he actually can kick ass much more thoroughly than than Jack can. This film pretty much had me from the start with the scene right in the hospital. Then, of course, we shoot right to sort of this Indiana Jones in space adventure. As soon as he put his Walkman on and started listening to this fun song while walking through this very, very, very serious-looking kind of space opera fantasy scenery, and just kind of going with the flow. That definitely hit me right. This is definitely, it set up the character very well. And of course, performance by, God, like, where should I start? Let me just go right. Zoe Saldana was wonderful. She basically had to kind of play the straight man because most everybody else was hilarious. And I think she toes that line really well without being a stick in the mud. And of course, she has her own storyline going on with Ronan and her father Thanos, and standing up against them, and this being her time to do so. We of course got Rocket and Groot. It was like, it's pretty much the Rocket and Groot movie. Bradley Cooper really does sell this character. He doesn't play it too cutesy. He even knows. I gotta tell you, one of the things that really grounds the character for me was, we have several jokes about him being a raccoon and how this is ridiculous, and he addresses that in the movie when he gets drunk and upset, and it's not like a jokey upset. The film doesn't like shy away from it. He's really angry and hurt and scared and pissed off, and the film lets him have that moment. And any kind of feelings you have towards this character is like right there, that scene. And of course Groot is this wonderful, like, gentle giant, monstrous character, and they knew what they were doing when they cast Vin Diesel. I mean, it does kind of bring back memories of him as the Iron Giant, and like, hey, perfect. He also, inflects, meaning, in his "I am Groot" line delivery, much like that one actress who has to play Pikachu for the last 30 years. If anybody knows if they just recorded her saying Pikachu like 60 times, and then, or do they have to go back to her every time they need that line? I don't know. But, God, that character is so great. And yeah, he's a tough guy, but oh my God, he's easily the most sensitive of the characters, and he delivers, I think, some of the more beautiful moments, like with giving the girl the flower, when he saves everybody at the end, and wow, I mean, that really, frankly, that choked me up quite a bit. And let's see, then of course Batista, who I think, I guess, out of all the characters and actors chosen, I was a little, probably the most, I don't know, I don't want to say concerned, but, not as enthusiastic about him, because I don't know, I'm not the biggest wrestling fan, and, wrestlers don't have a huge, great history of acting, frankly. I mean, there's some, like Rowdy Piper, I think, was a better actor than some people give him credit for, and Jesse the Body Ventura is apparently a better actor than he is a governor. But, by the way, if you've never seen him in that one X-Files episode, I think it's Joseph Chung's from Outer Space. He's excellent in that episode. But yeah, they've been a little bit few and far between, but holy crap, he knows his characters at a weird mental cultural handicap versus the others. In a way like Steve Rogers has, because he, hasn't been inundated with pop culture for the last 60 years. His culture, his planet, just, they don't do metaphors. That's just not part of their language. And apparently everybody else does, not just, Earth humans. I think they're called Earthlings, Justin. Not just, Earthlings, but apparently other characters from other worlds also talk in metaphor. And I guess also assume, like, oh, well, above my head, yeah, I guess it's a metaphor. None. No, he can't do that. And I think what's good is they don't sell it completely as his character, which I think this goes for all of them, because I think a lesser filmmaker would have that basically be their characters. Like, oh, she's the sexy one, he's the raccoon, he's the guy who doesn't, understand metaphors, he's the jokey guy. No, they all have scenes and moments where you get to look underneath. In the words of Peter Quill, you get to see that he's not 100% a dick. And speaking of that line, that's something about the dialogue that I really enjoyed was... I've seen this a couple of times before, and it just really tickles me, where you take a setting that is normally serious, and you put regular people talking regular language and, maybe foul language or slang, and it's just funny. And the scene where John C. Reilly delivers that message to Glenn Close playing Nova Prime is just priceless. I mean, and it didn't take away from the stakes that were being, risen by Ronan's attack. And let me get to Ronan, Lee Pace's Ronan. I gotta say, I'm only familiar with Lee Pace from his role on Pushing Daisies, and to see him do this character was very fascinating. He jumps into it head first and is like 100% behind it. He seems very scary and threatening throughout the film, and he just owns it, and he just goes right after it. I will agree that we don't get too much about the character in too many scenes, really digging into him. Just from what we know, frankly, he is a religious fanatic who isn't crazy about the Kree peace treaty. He thinks they should just go all the way and attack them, rather than make peace with them. And what's interesting is Nova Prime seems to be in an interesting case where she can't even ask the Kree for help. They go, hey, you know what? That's your problem, and this isn't part of our peace deal. And so she's kind of screwed as far as like that's concerned. I really did like the Nova Corps. Really was different than they were in the comics. They're more kind of like the Nova character. In this, they're more like X-Wing pilots, which, well, to be honest, is not a bad trade-off. And maybe we're seeing them early in their development. Maybe that will eventually happen to them if we get to see that. But this is before that. Those spaceships are really cool, and the fact that they look like the Nova symbol I thought was awesome, and a nice touch. I will say, yeah, that does seem to be a minor issue with some of the Marvel films, is we don't get to really develop the villains as much, with Loki being the major exception. Red Skull, we got to see a little bit. Let's see, the villain from Thor 2. Actually, I think we get more out of Ronan than we do out of the character from Thor 2, whose name I cannot even remember at this moment. I think Mordecai, I think? No, that's the guy from regular show. That's a different character, I think. The guy Doctor Who played. And, let's see. And speaking of which, we have another Doctor Who actress in this. There seems to be some weird relationship between Doctor Who and the Marvel movies. We've had 2 companions show up and a doctor show up. So we'll get some more. That might be interesting. Hey, Matt Smith is free, so maybe we should call that guy. But anyway, with the minor grievance, I have about the development of Ronan. Here's the thing: I don't know anything about Ronan. I know he exists. That's it. I've never read a comic with him in it, so I don't have this huge familiarity with the character. He's just never appeared in the Marvel books I've read over the years. Not the biggest scholar on Marvel's, interstellar stuff. I know a lot of the stuff, but I don't know it by heart. It's not. I don't know. It's just not my corner that I'm geeked out about. So what they gave me was fine. I'm not insulted that we didn't learn that one thing or something else was revealed. He's evil, he's bad, and he's convincing. So hey, that's all I need, frankly. I mean, if you want to make a Star Wars comparison, which a lot of people are making a comparison to this to New Hope, I mean, really, how much do we know about Vader? We're told a bunch of things, but that's kind of it. Or the Admiral, played by Peter Cushing. We know nothing about that guy, and he's one of the major villains in the film. Nothing. I don't know anything about the Admiral in that movie, except that he's played by Peter Cushing. And he seems to not take Vader's shit. That's all I know. So, you know what? It's okay, because what they give us is excellent. I think that's it. Let's see. Is there anything I'm missing here that I probably should bring up, Lindsay? Anything? I think that's it. I really liked it. 5 RAM chips. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what your problem is. Go see it. It's quite excellent. When it comes out on video, go get it. That's pretty much it. I think I think I approve of the film. Push the button, Lindsay.